So we're just gonna manually fly this in. Get rid of the master caution. It's complaining about our speed because we sped up too much under our current settings. It's not letting me... We're going to zoom out here to our flight plan, continue our descent down to 2,000. We overspeeded the plane. We got that. We're slowing down.
Delta 1032, please expedite your descent to 2,000 feet.
Okay, we're working on it. So we're going to see if we can get the flight director system back active again. So flight director, we'll go over here and look at our altitude. 2,000 is what we should be set for. But I still got this weird thing going on with the mouse, which I don't know. The control, it's like it's looking for me to do something, even though the button is active. Let me go up here. Let's see. If I bring up another control. There we go. Alright, so now I'm still descending relatively rapidly, about at 2,000. Let me get this descent, pull up out of this descent. I'm really going fast. Get our speed back down, watch our descent. Flight director is on. Go back to auto thrust. Autopilot, get that engaged. No, it's not what I want you to do. I want you to be at 2,000. It's starting its descent again. We're getting lined up with burpee. We should be in flat position 1. We are in flat position 1. It looks like we're a little bit back under control. So the automation of the aircraft is starting to work again. So some craziness going on there. This flight's just getting out of hand here in the end. Ground spoilers are armed. Medium brake is... the auto brake is set. All looks good. Weather is clear. We don't need the ignition on. We're going to continue to let the automation fly the aircraft at this moment. Still looking pretty good. At about 3... Where's my little sheet here? So just get my little notes out here.
Delta 1032 airport is at your 12 o'clock 12 miles. Maintain present heading and altitude. Report runway in sight.
So we're getting lined up with our approach into the runway right now. 273. We are at... Whoa, why are we descending? Why is it doing that again? Holy cow, we are way low. This has happened before. No.
Please acknowledge.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Get back up there. Climb. Get our altitude back up. There's some really strange stuff that goes on with the automation. I hear you. I hear you. You need to let me fly this plane. I'm about to crash.
Present heading and altitude Delta 1032.
So we need to get back up to at least 1,500 feet. And the runway should be out there somewhere. We'll get lined up and we should be able to pick it out. Watch the automation. 2,800, still descending, pretty sharply in fact. We need to make sure that we level off at 2,000.
2,500.
And it looks like it's starting to level off, which is good. Alright, leveling off 2000. We've got a high angle of attack right now, yet our speed is in control. And it's like the plane is plowing through the air. I do have flaps out to 1. Yes, I do. A little slow. We're going to go to... Shouldn't have to go to flaps 2 yet, but if you look at that angle of attack, it's really high. Unusually high, it seems to me. But flaps 1, we're not ready to do flaps 2 yet. Here we are turning on our 273-degree approach to the runway.
Delta 103 to airport is at your 12 o'clock 12 miles. Maintain present heading and altitude report runway in sight.
Okay, acknowledge.
Maintain present heading and altitude Delta 1032.
So key CY is our where we start our descent. So we want to watch that because at 3 nautical miles we go to flaps 2. In fact, we're just going to go to flaps 2 a little early. So flaps 2, try and get the nose down so we can see. Watch our speed. The runway is right up here. I've done this enough that I can pick it out, but there's the runway. We're holding 2000. Speed's gone down just a little bit. Looks pretty good. 4.4 nautical miles from the runway. Runway in sight.
Delta 1032, I have the runway in sight.
Delta 103 to your liner, miles east of Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey Echo Sierra Tango Indian November Tango Lima. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Key West Tower on 118.2.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118.2 Delta 1032.
Contact Key West Tower.
Key West Tower Delta 10328 miles east inbound visual runway 27 approach.
2 nautical miles, flaps 3, gear down.
Key West Tower. Cleared visual runway 27 approach. Altimeter 29.902 wind 275 at 7.
The plane is slowing down a little bit too much for me, so we'll acknowledge our pattern.
Cleared visual runway 27 approach Delta 1032.
I want to look here at the automation and make sure that I have the right speed set. 146 is our approach. 151. We're going to set this. No, I want manual speed. Get out of the way.
Delta 103. Did you hear my last transmission?
151 looks good. We need to pay attention here. Yes, I heard. We're going to go full flaps and start our descent for the runway. Acknowledge.
Clear to land runway 27 Delta 1032.
No. What is it doing? Keep the... Yep, auto... 151. No, what are you doing? No. What are you doing? The automation turned off. I'm descending like a rock. Let's get this back up here again. There we go. Slow down.
500.
So I was adjusting the throttle, and the throttle disengaged the autothrust, even though the autothrust says that it's engaged. Autothrust. 151. So see if we get this back up. We'll get lined up here. I think we're gonna be okay. 400. Gear is down. Nope, I'm losing speed again.
300.
Manually control the throttle. It doesn't seem to. The automation doesn't seem to be working. So we hopefully are okay here. We'll bring it in. Slow it down just a little bit. And this is going to be problematic at best.
200.
Yep. Oh.
20 refund.
runway is going to be over there, in that general vicinity. I believe it's right in this area. So it looks like we did level off, which is good. So at 2,000 feet and holding. And turning for our proper course heading towards the runway. Everything is looking fine right now.
Delta 1032 Airport is 22 miles at your 12 o'clock. Maintain present heading and altitude. Report runway in sight.
So they want us to report runway in sight. And that's going to be the runway up there. So we'll go ahead and take care of that now.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Delta 1032. Delta 1032 has the runway in sight. Delta 1032, you're 11 miles east of Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey Echo Sierra Tango India November Tango Lima. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Key West Tower on 118.2. Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118.2 Delta 1032. Key West Tower Delta 1032 9 miles east inbound visual runway 27 approach.
So we are now 3 nautical miles, flaps 2.
Cleared visual runway 27 approach.
You can see the runway now coming into view, straight ahead.
275 Cleared visual runway 27 approach.
2 nautical miles, flaps 3. We'll go gear down. We gotta check our speed as well. Make sure we're controlling our speed. So I want this to be 151 right now. So we'll get that set. We're 1 nautical mile. We're gonna go. Should be flaps full. It is. Flaps full. A little hard to see here. Flaps full. It is. Looks good.
Delta 1032 cleared to land runway 27. Wind 275 at 7.
151 looks fine. We've just passed. We're going to take control of the aircraft. Acknowledge landing instruction.
Cleared to land runway 27 Delta 1032.
Start our descent down to the runway. So manually fly it in. Make sure not to touch the throttle control. I did that once before, and if I touch the throttle, my auto thrust will disengage and we'll be manually controlling the throttle all the way in. Descending a little bit too sharply here. Gears down, full flaps. 1,000. Still a little sharp on the descent. Why are you descending so much here? Hold on.
400. 300.
Way. I gotta take manual control here.
200.
Way off here. This was horrible.
100.
What is going on with this thing? That's unfucking believable.
60, 50, 40, 30, 5.
Delta 10 tree 2 contact ground on 121.9er.
That was ridiculous. Come on. So we've leveled off at 2,000 feet. This is looking good. 2.5 nautical miles, 2 burpee, 200 knots, 2,000 feet. We'll zoom in here a little bit, make this easier to see. Alright, we are turning towards the runway, 273 degrees. The runway should be right up there. Make sure that I've done my handoff.
Delta 10 tree 2 airport is LNE 2 miles at your 12 o'clock. Maintain present heading and altitude, report runway in sight.
Knowledge instruction.
Maintain present heading and altitude Delta 10 tree 2.
Gonna start to slow down here a little bit. A little hard to see. Runway in sight.
Delta 10 tree 2 runway in sight.
Delta 10 tree 2 or 11 miles east of Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey Echo Sierra Tango India November Tango Lima. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Key West Tower on 118.2.
Slow down here a little bit more.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118.2 Delta 10 tree 2.
Flaps 2.
Key West Tower Delta 10 tree 2 9 miles east inbound visual runway 27 approach. Delta 10 tree 2 Key West Tower. Cleared visual runway 27 approach. Altimeter 29.9er 2 wind 275
70, got it. Acknowledge approach.
Cleared visual runway 27 approach Delta 10 tree 2.
Gear down. Flaps 3. One nautical mile. Full flaps.
Delta 10 tree 2 cleared to land runway 27. Wind 275
Cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 27 Delta 10 tree 2.
Alright, we're gonna bring our speed down here a little bit more. It's really hard to see this right now. 153, 52, that looks pretty good. And we're going to go off of autopilot and start our descent down. We should be at full flaps. Starting our descent down to the runway. Make sure we stay lined up here. Speed should be good for this descent. Trying to keep my eyes on the threshold for the runway. 1,000 feet. Getting a little out of sorts here. Come over a little bit more. 500.
400.
400.
300.
300.
200.
200. Start to look down the runway.
100.
100.
60. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Little long.
Retard 5.
Reversers. $60 knots. Disengage your reversers.
Delta 1032, turn next taxiway.
I really don't like that angle of attack, so, you know, flap position 1. %50 power on the engines, a lot of nose up, the angle of attack's high, just doesn't look smooth at all. Here's our last little turn.
Delta 1032 airport is at your 12 o'clock 12 miles. Maintain present heading and altitude. Report runway in sight.
Maintain present heading and altitude Delta 1032.
And the runway is up there. It's straight ahead here, so we have the runway in sight.
Delta 1032 runway in sight.
Delta 1032, you are 11 miles east of Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey Echo Sierra Tango India November Tango Lima. Maintain present heading and altitude. Contact Key West Tower on 118.2.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 118.2 Delta 1032.
Delta 1032, Key West
Key
Tower.
West Tower Delta 1032 10 miles east inbound visual runway 27 approach.
Decimal 9 or 2 wind 275 at 7.
3 nautical miles to go flaps 2.
Delta 1032, contact Navy Key approach on ONE 26.575.
Why?
126.575 for Delta 1032.
I didn't do that.
Navy Key approach Delta 1032 was missed approach at Kilo Echo Yankee Whiskey Echo Sierra Tango India November Tango
Missed
Lima.
approach my ass.
Delta 1032, you are 7 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway 27 approach. Navy Key approach landmark 1058 is at 8,200 feet, descending 2,000 feet. Landmark 1058, Navy Key approach, continue as planned. Altimeter 29.2.
Alright, so we're descending to the runway. We have our clearance for landing. This is not an
Delta 1032, please acknowledge.
I'm not going to acknowledge you. You just need to shut up. we are landing. ATC is just a joke. It's a total effing joke in this game.
Delta 1032, please acknowledge.
Bite me.
Delta 1032, please acknowledge.
I told you to bite me.
200. 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard 5.
Delta 1032,
60 knots.
flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200.